Exactly 1 year ago, we got our first glimpse at the marvelous creatures that populate the region of Västmanland. In this series, we continue to celebrate the natural wonders that remain and reveal what we must preserve to ensure that people and nature thrive. This time, we dive deep below the Sea of Westmanland. Many scientists have long assumed that such waters must be barren. How could any creature survive in such crushing conditions? But now, for the first time, we can observe some of the inhabitants of the deep Sea of Westmanland. The rheumatologist. There is no doctor with a more comforting handshake, often containing so much more than the human eye can perceive. As an example, let us see this particular one in ultra slow motion. The rheumatologist has developed a remarkable skill of finding signs of any systemic, rare autoimmune disease without you even noticing. The lack of oxygen in the deep Sea of Westmanland can be worrisome for most, but the pulmonologist is known as the apex predator of the bee problem. Whenever any of the other organisms need the support of this magnificent specimen, the unsung hero of pulmonology will always stand ready to their aid. As long as it is a Tuesday, between 11:30 and 11:45, the day after a full moon. Wait, what was that? Could it be the infectious disease, Doctor? Finally, we can observe the... Oh well. Perhaps next time.
Ja, nej, det går bra. Du stör inte. Ja, vad hade du på hjärtat?
Viewing into the dilated window to the soul of the patient, we have the up-and-coming the eye doctor. Do you know what they call this Läkare at the eye department? Well, a pupil, of course. He is hoping to live long and prosper as long as all his other elder colleagues. Do you know why the eye doctor lives so long? Because they dilate. Very well, enough with the corny comments. The stress of constant survival can be harrowing for many of the creatures in Västmanland. Here we see the dermatologist in agony over the choice of best possible therapy for a crippling skin condition. What will it be? Cortisone? Or Carnoderm? Or a little bit of both? It is now early evening in the deep Sea of Västmanland. The kärlkirurg is expected to arrive for the late afternoon rounds that are set to begin at 5 p.m. But once again, the team is still anticipating their long-awaited arrival. The youngling is tasked with contacting the surgeon.
Ja, jag kommer om en liten stund. Jag ska bara göra en TEVAR och en distal bypass först. Vänta ni så kommer jag.
Ja men vad bra. Ja men strålande. Då väntar vi in dig. Ja, ses snart. Hej då.
Excellent. The surgeon will arrive any minute now.
Kommer du här när som helst?
Yes, any minute now. In a peaceful moment, we finally have the opportunity to observe the infectious disease doctor as he...
Torbjörn Larsson infektion?
Well, we shall return another time. Ah, our endocrinologist. The medical doctor chose the specialty where she thought she could find and treat the rare fish of the sea, only to, years later, still be drowning in diabetes.
Ja, insulin. Men det är jättesvårt, ja.
Answering the ever so important questions about insulin.
5 enheter tycker jag, det blir bra.
A skill they have spent many years honing to perfection.
Ja. Vänta lite, jag ska se lite hur mycket han fick igår. Men du, ta bara 2 enheter. Det är risk att han blir låg annars.
Ah, here we have the geriatrician examining the highly volatile desert dry senior lower extremity. dear. Attempting to recover from this incident, he retires into the bottomless pit we all know to be called the fördjupad läkemedelsgenomgång. It is finally time for feeding. After a long day, the infectious disease doctor is hoping to... Påsådd.
Torbjörn Larsson infektion? Nej, du stör inte.
The hematologist, the one doctor who actually knows the meaning of all the abbreviations of the blodstatus with diff. Detail-oriented, calm, and an expert on calculating doses of low molecular weight heparin. She has a dark side though. When she is done counting blood cells, she might drive a thick needle into your crista. Who is that lurking? Ah, yes. After generations of exposure to chemotherapy, this oncologist is now herself a source of dangerous radiation. This specimen is therefore carefully avoiding contact with all other species. The life of an oncologist can indeed be lonely, but there is an upside to this. She can inhabit the deepest, darkest parts of Västmanland now, thanks to her bioluminescence. There he is, finally all alone and undisturbed. We can now... Unbelievable.
Torbjörn Larsson infektion? Nej, du stör inte. Ja, jag kan ta personnummer.
Can you smell that? It is the smell of the plethora of petri dishes with agar, among which the microbiologists spend most of their days. Constantly searching and studying the necessary literature to prepare for the discovery of the next possible pandemic. For those too ambivalent to choose between surgery or internal medicine, we show you the department of endoscopy. Here we have the endoscopist telling the patient about how the gastroscopy will be completely harmless and only give a slight discomfort during the examination. Ah, the poor patient, soon about to find out that she would rather prefer to be waterboarded. Through evolution, the urologist has grown exceedingly longer arms and fingers. Did you know a urologist's index finger can be up to 15 centimeters long? The most sensitive animal in the deep sea of Västmanland, the urologist has gathered all the sensory nerves in the tip of the index finger, all for the sake of the next prostate exam. Although he will alleviate your urinary tract symptoms, one can only hope that he remembers to change gloves between patients. Here we see them coping in chirping, living a solitary life, forced to push their limits in an hostile environment. This species has to carry the sökare of the primärjour, bakjour and narkosjour. Although in theory they only see medical patients, the reality is such that he must also single-handedly handle everything from wrist fractures to arterial thrombi in these harsh waters. On this voyage, we have witnessed only a few of the species living in the deep sea of Westmanland, this intriguing ocean of spectacular animals. But we all know that there are many, many more to discover. We tried once again to have but a brief moment with the infectious disease doctors, but as you know, they are... Are we here? In their office? Finally! Found in their natural habitat, the infectious disease
Torbjörn Larsson? Infektion? Nej, du stör inte.
Well, as they say, there are plenty more fish in the sea. This has been the deep sea of Westmanland. Thank you for watching.